Good morning, West in the world. Welcome to your review video for the week of November 18 and 20. When I didn't get a review video made quickly on Tuesday, I decided it made more sense to just wait and make one video for the whole week because in many ways the things that we're talking about, we talked about on Tuesday, that we talked about today, and that we will continue talking about on Tuesday of next week, represent sort of one continual thread. In fact, many historians talk about these two wars, World War I and World War II, here at the outset of the 20th century as a sort of single conflict with a 30-year pause in the midst of them. So in terms of where we've been so far, what we have said is that World War I is a sort of great disillusioning moment for Europe, where coming off of a century of relative peace and stability, confidence in progress, suddenly the destructive power of the war has devastating sort of effects on the morale of people in Europe, their confidence that the future is somehow bright for them. This was expressed to us most vividly in the poetry of Wilfred Owen, Dulce et decorum est, which he calls the sort of the great lie, that it is good and right to die for one's country. Owen, by the end of World War I, because of the devastating uses of these technologies of war and more, is no longer confident that this is the case. World War I also sort of helps set the stage for what comes next in the ways in which the war is brought to an end, in the unraveling of empires. Especially, of course, the Treaty of Versailles and the ways in which it treats the German people. And you need to make sure that you really understand what the Treaty of Versailles does and why it's so upsetting to the German people. We talked about it this morning as a kind of anti-nationalist measure in that it strips Germany of territories, it destroys its economic vitality, and it deprives it of any opportunity to win victory in the field of battle. And those things that were so key to nationalist identity are utterly undone in the Treaty of Versailles, and make possible the narrative that Adolf Hitler and others are going to use to say that Germany was mistreated, that the peace was an unjust one, and that Germany has the right, therefore, eventually to sort of undo the terms of the Treaty of Versailles and reassert itself as a great power in Europe. World War I also, of course, undoes this, the old Russian Empire, and so today we talked about the unraveling of Romanov rule, the czars of Russia, and its replacement by the Marxist-inflected government of the Soviet Union, led by first Lenin and then Stalin. We talked about a lot of different facets of that, but the emergence, the central issue is probably the emergence of this totalitarian form of government that is able to exercise much greater power and control over the daily lives of its citizenry than any government really in world history to that point. So we also turn to sort of some of the other developments, movements towards women's rights, the effects of the Great Depression, and the growth or the sort of solidifying of anti-Semitic sentiment. All of these factors are going to sort of come together in the person of Adolf Hitler, who we introduced at the end of class. His philosophy of Lebensraum, the idea that a great people needs living space. And when we come back to class next Tuesday, we're going to talk about his ambitions for how to go about accomplishing those purposes. So I'll look forward to talking more with you about that next Tuesday. Have a good weekend.